Okay, now here's how you factor trinomials when a, the number in front of the x squared term, is not equal to 1. It's a little bit more complex, so I'm going to give you this as an example. 6x squared minus 11x plus 4. Okay, we can't use quite the same trick we use when a is equal to 1. What we have to do now to factor this, and there's 3 ways I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the long mathematical way to do it. And I'm going to show you a shorter way that I came up with. As far as I know, no one else has come up with this, but it's shorter. And then I'm going to show you a way to do it on the calculator, but there's some caveats to that, which we'll go over when I get there. So what you have to do when a is not equal to 1 is multiply the a term by the c term. 6 times 4, 24. Now, what are the factor pairs of 24 that are going to add up to negative 11? Remember, the factors, when this is positive, they're either both positive or both negative to give you positive 4. Okay? And because the 6 is positive, so you have 24, so they're either both positive or both negative. So factors of 24, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. That's it. Now, both positive or both negative, and they have to add up to negative 11. So if we make both those negative, they add up to negative 11. Okay? So what you have to do is split this. So you end up with 6x squared minus 3x minus 8x plus 4. Notice that I took that 11 here, right here, and I just split it up into minus 3 and minus 8. But because it has an x on it, it's minus 3x and minus 8x. So that's all I've done so far. I've just split the minus 11 into minus 3 and minus 8. Okay, now once I've done that, then I group these like this. Now here's the hard part. Because I put parentheses around the second term, then the minus sign here was in front of the 8x. But now it makes this whole thing negative. So you have to change the sign of the 4 here to a negative. So when negative makes it a positive 4 again. Okay, now we've done that. So now we have to factor this first term. This first thing in parentheses here. We can factor out a 3 and we can factor out an x. So we bring 3x out front, and that leaves us with 2x minus 1 on the inside. Okay, because 3x, when we take the 3x out of the 3x, it just leaves a 1. Then look at this other one, minus, then 8x minus 4. The only thing we can factor out is a 4. So bring out a 4. And that leaves us with 2x minus 1. Okay, and now we have our 2 factors. Okay, because if I factor out 2x minus 1 from all of these terms, I end up with 2x minus 1. And what am I left with? 3x minus 4. Okay, and those are the 2 factors. This is called factor by grouping. It looks complicated. If you need to practice it a lot to really get good at it, and if you haven't used it in a while, you kind of forget it. It's not that complicated, but it is very involved. Okay, you have to be very careful, and there's a lot of places to make mistakes. So that's the first method. Okay, the second method I came up with when I was teaching high school algebra. And this is back in North Carolina. I was teaching high school algebra, and I was having students go up to the whiteboard and racing, doing factoring by grouping, doing exactly what we just did. So I had 4 students up at this big long whiteboard, and they're all racing on who, and I was standing behind them watching them as they were doing it. And after several groups went up, I I I noticed there was like a pattern. And I stood there watching this one student, and I thought, I'm going to see if I can figure this out before she writes the answer down. And so I just kind of did it mentally in my head, and I thought, holy smoke, there's a pattern. Okay, so this is a method that I came up with, and I'll show it to you right now. Okay, so let's take that same equation we just had, trinomial, 6 squared minus 11x plus 4. Okay, you still have to multiply the first term by the last term. So 6 times 4 is 24. And you have to find your factor pairs, okay? So 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Both positive or both negative. So you still have to do that part, okay? And we figured it was these two. Now, take this 6 and just put 6x, not 6x squared, just 6x in 2 different parentheses, okay? They're not connected yet, okay? And then take this minus 3 and minus 8 and put them right in there. Now, can you simplify these things? Yeah, I can divide both of them by 3. In this case, I don't have to bring it out front. I'm not factoring. I'm just simplifying it. So divide 6x minus 3 by 3, and I get 2x minus 1. That's one of the factors. Here, the way to simplify it, I have to divide by 2, okay, because 3 won't go into 8. So I divide by 2, and I get 3x minus 4. And I'm done. That's it. Okay, a lot easier than grouping. You know, there's still some involvement. This stuff just isn't, they don't make it easy, okay? So let's try another one. Okay, I've got 12x squared plus 23 plus 10. Okay, now remember the first thing you do, multiply this by this. 12 times 10, 120. You think, what are the factors of 120? So, oh my goodness, there's a whole bunch of those. Well, let me show you something here that might help. I'm going to go to Desmos, and I'm just going to write in y is equal to 120 divided by x. Okay, once I do that, then if I click on this little wheel right here and make a table out of it, it starts giving me the factors, okay? But it only gives me, you know, plus and minus 2. So if I click on bottom one there, the 2, then just keep hitting the enter button, it starts listing all the factors. Once you get to, we've got 10 by 12 down here and 12 by 10. Once you get to this point where the numbers are almost even, then you don't need to go any further. Remember, these are both plus or both minus, okay? Because that middle term is, oh, no, I'm sorry. The middle term is a positive, so they're both positive, okay? So, and they have to add up to 23. If I go back to I'll go back in just a minute. Okay, it was 12x squared plus 23x plus 10. So the factors of 120, and you can leave out all these fractional ones. They're not really factors, okay? They're not integer factors. Which ones add up to 23? Okay, you can see right here, 8 and 15 add up to 23. So if I go back to this one, 8 and 15. Okay, now remember what we did last time. I took the 12 and put an x behind it on an x squared. Did it twice, 12x and 12x. These parentheses terms aren't connected yet, okay? I'm just using them to help me do my work. Then put the 8 there, positive. Put the 15 there, also positive. So plus 8 plus 15. Now, can I simplify these parentheses by dividing by anything? Yes, I'm not factoring, I'm just dividing it to simplify it. Okay, so if I can divide this first one by 4, and that'll give me 3x plus 2. And I can divide this one over here by 3. It gives me 4x plus 5. And you're done. Those are the factors right there. Okay, so that's a method I came up with. And you're thinking, well, it's not any easier than the other one. Believe me, it is. When you've done a few grouping problems, this is a lot easier. And I'll show you one more method that can be easier, but you really need to be on top of your math game for that to happen. So that's how you do this.